Hi guys, and for today's video, I'm going to be giving you my movie review of Deadpool and Wolverine. Without further ado, let's begin with the video. And oh my god guys, this movie was freaking fantastic. This has to be my favorite MCU movie of all time, and basically my favorite Deadpool movie of all time. This was a great movie. Everything was great, the comedy was great, the action was great. It was just a fantastic movie. But let me tell you some of the goods I like. I like Hugh Jackman a lot in this movie. He was fantastic as Wolverine, this version of Wolverine, and I love that he had the classic yellow suit. It's about damn time he has that suit, and plus it was good seeing Ryan Reynolds back as Deadpool. It's always good to see the Merc with the mouth back again, and there were a lot of Disney and Fox jokes in this movie. There was a lot of Disney and Fox jokes, and there's a lot of jokes in the TVA, and when Deadpool's at the TVA. I'll get into spoilers in a little bit, but I really like seeing Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. Loved it that he has the yellow suit. Loved that he was in the movie. Loved his character arc in the movie. Loved that he went from being a depressed / alcoholic Wolverine to being the Wolverine, the X-Men, the badass that we all know and love. And I love seeing his relationship with Deadpool, to see like their sort of like friendship building up, and sort of them at ease with another, and then seeing Wolverine slowly getting used to Deadpool and starting to form a friendship with him. But of course, in that Wolverine signature style of saying the usual Wolverine stuff, like F off or no bub, or just calling Deadpool bub, and that sort of stuff. And as for characters, man, I really like the two antagonists, or should I say, the first antagonist, that being Paradox. He was great. He was like that asshole that you want to see get his comeuppance, and he was great as a antagonist. But the main villain overall in the movie was Cassandra Nova. I loved her. I love the actress who plays Cassandra Nova. She was great in this movie. Love that she basically, runs sort of, her own band of evil mutants, and sort of like other evil Marvel adjacent characters from like the Punisher side, the Daredevil side, and even like the X-Men side of things. And I love that. And I loved seeing Deadpool's friends and his friends in his universe back, to see it, him back again. Love seeing his jokes. Love seeing all the jokes that Ryan Reynolds Deadpool makes. Love seeing his relationship with his cast, and the characters from the previous Deadpool movies. And love seeing that this is technically our first X-Men adjacent film in the MCU. It's still technically a Fox kind of X-Men style film, but it's still technically our first X-Men adjacent movie in the MCU, even though it's part of an old universe, like an old Marvel Fox universe. Now, let's move on to some spoilers and cameos. Okay, so the cameos I do like. The Wolverine cameos. Oh my god, let's talk about the Wolverine cameos. The first cameo that we got from like when Deadpool basically, he was... Okay, I should mention some spoilers. Okay, so when Deadpool gets, abducted by the TVA, he meets Paradox. Paradox offers him to join the Sacred Timeline, but of course Paradox is evil. Then we see Deadpool like, no, I want to save my universe. So he basically, kicks Paradox's nose, punch Paradox's nose, steal his temp pad, and basically tries to, find a Wolverine. And the first place he meets, or should I say, let's talk in the beginning of the opening movie, he's at, the gravesite of Wolverine from the Logan movie. He digs up, literally, Wolverine's, corpse, and it's still, has the adamantium, and it still, has his rotting flesh on. And Wolverine's making a joke saying, I always wanted to team up with you, Deadpool and a Wolverine. And we see the TVA agents, try to arrest him again. And then we see freaking Wolverine basically defiled, we see Deadpool basically defile Wolverine's corpse in a funny type way, in a Deadpool type humor way, he basically, just beats the crap out of the TVA's agents with Wolverine's uh, corpse from the Logan movie, and he basically, kills them one at a time, and he uses, all of Wolverine's dead, skeleton parts to basically kill TVA agents. He even at one point uses his the skeleton remains of the arms and uses Wolverine's claws. And even Deadpool jokes that he's not good at using Wolverine's claws, and he's like, "Screw this! I'm going to find another Wolverine." So he goes to a first universe, which he meets this other Wolverine, which is comic accurate, being short. I forget what size Wolverine is in the comics, but basically he meets a variant of Hugh Jackman Wolverines that's comic accurate, short. They just basically use CGI to make him look short for that comic accurate one. Then he goes to a universe. He goes to a universe where Wolverine fights the Hulk, and Wolverine in that universe is wearing the classic yellow and brown suit from that one Todd McFarlane Hulk comic that they even recreated the Hulk reflection from the claws, and even that comic panel that Wolverine does in that scene. That was cool. And we see another universe that Deadpool hops into, and he's in sort of the Age of Apocalypse universe, and he sees an Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, and that was cool too. And then we see him hopping to a universe where Wolverine's Patch, and if you don't know what Patch is Wolverine's alter ego when he's undercover or at solo Madripoor stuff, you get the point. But he goes into that universe, and eventually he makes his way to another universe, and we meet freaking Henry Cavill Wolverine as another cameo, and Deadpool's like, "Holy cow, Wolverine, don't worry, Marvel/Disney is treating you way better than those shitheads down the street," meaning Warner Brothers, and I get the joke. That was a really good joke. And so Henry Cavill's Wolverine is like, you better go away. So he basically uses his claws to punch Deadpool back into the portal, and then we see Deadpool finding, the main Wolverine for this movie, and it's funny, and then he basically, recruits him, or at least that Wolverine gets drunk, takes him back to TVA, and basically they eventually get back sucked into the void. There's a huge fight scene, which is awesome, and eventually they meet Chris Evans, Human Torch, but Deadpool's like, "Oh my god, it's him." So Deadpool thinks, that the Chris Evans, that he meets is actually, he's thinking that's a Captain America variant, but no, it's actually the original Human Torch from the 2005 Fantastic Four movie. He got sort of this, new suit on, a mix between the old Fantastic Four movie suit and a little bit of a sort of post-apocalyptic, sort of void type of look. And then we see him fighting Pyro. They fight Pyro, Toad, Sabretooth. Sabretooth gets his head chopped off by Wolverine. Eventually Wolverine and Deadpool and Chris Evans, Human Torch, get captured, and they get meet by Cassandra Nova. And basically Cassandra Nova kills Chris Evans, Human Torch, because Deadpool basically said some things, and then she killed Chris Evans, Human Torch. Eventually they manage to escape somehow. There's a fight scene going on. Elias there, and eventually they got out. They're in a diner, and Wolverine and Deadpool are talking. And then, okay, I forgot to mention, there's another opening scene where Wolverine is talking to Happy Hogan, which is I think is Jon Favreau's Happy Hogan from the Sacred Timeline, but it was set in 2018, right before Infinity War, right around before Infinity War. Talk about he wants to be Avenger, forgot about that. But let's move on to the rest. So they eventually, they're trying to make their way through, and eventually they meet, they meet another version of Deadpool, Handsome Deadpool, or Nice Pool, and they meet Dogpool, Mary Poppins. And then they eventually, Nice Pool makes a joke, and Deadpool really hates Nice Pool. And basically, they're trying to find some other heroes or resistance, and Nice Pool tells them, "Oh yeah, there are some other heroes in resistance. They're in the borderlands, basically the outskirts, and he can give them a ride." And so he literally gives them a Honda. I don't know which Honda car they gave them, but basically Deadpool's like, "Ah, crap, this type of Honda, that Honda sucks." And so that's a joke. So eventually, they're on the road. Eventually, Deadpool, says, well, eventually the TVA might help you restore your world. And Wolverine's like, the fuck? And so you lied to me. And so they get to a fight scene in a car, the one that you see in the trailer. And eventually they do it for all night. And eventually they tire themselves out. And then a mysterious figure, takes them to their hideout. And we get to see, Wolverine, of course, drinking liquor because he's a drunk, because this Wolverine's depressed, and Deadpool's making some more jokes, and we get to see Jennifer Gardner's Elektra. That was awesome, and then we get to see freaking Wesley Snipes' Blade, and then we get to see freaking Channing Tatum's Gambit, which is awesome. Love seeing Gambit. And we get to see the girl that was in the Logan movie that played X-23. She returned as X-23. And so they formed their little hero group, to try to fight Cassandra Nova. And then they eventually, fight, her group of evil mutants and evil faction. And then Deadpool and Wolverine, fight Cassandra Nova, and then eventually, they eventually get Juggernaut's helmet. They stop Cassandra Nova. Pyro shoots Cassandra Nova, and then basically, eventually, Wolverine's like, no more talking lines for you. No more talking for you. Sorry, yeah. And then basically, they eventually, convince Cassandra Nova to take them back to Deadpool's universe. So Deadpool returns home. Paradox is there, and then we get to see, Paradox, talking to them, saying, it's too late, your universe will die. Obviously, Cassandra Nova returns, she kills Pyro, and then she basically, takes, Paradox back to, where their secret hideout is, and then basically, they got this, basically, Paradox has this sort of timeline erasing machine, and basically Cassandra Nova is going to use that to basically destroy every timeline until the void is left. And then we get to see Deadpool and Wolverine, eventually meet the Deadpool Corps. We get to see Ladypool, which Ladypool is actually played by Ryan Reynolds' actual wife, Blake Lively. And they even made a joke about, Ladypool had a baby, which if you didn't know, in real life, Ryan Reynolds and his wife Blake Lively had another kid. They're another daughter, and basically that's another reference to that. And we get to see so many variants of Deadpool. But the main ones I saw were a Welsh version of Deadpool that's basically has a Wrexham uniform on. We get to see Deadpool freaking 2099, Zombie Pool, with Headpool. We get to see Lady Pool. We get to see Samurai Pool. We get to see Baby Pool, Kid Pool, and lots of Deadpool. And by the way, Deadpool uses Nice Pool as a human shield, takes his golden guns. They fight their way through the Deadpool Corps, and eventually, the Deadpool Corps comes back. But eventually, freaking Peter comes back, and he's wearing a Deadpool outfit, and every Deadpool's like, yeah, we love Peter. We all have a Peter on Earth, and we love him. He's our best friend. And so they're buddies. They're good. And so Deadpool and Wolverine goes to the secret, facility, TVA's facility that has the a timeline erasing machine. They eventually figure out that they have to sacrifice themselves in order to stop the machine. And Wolverine offers to, do it himself, but Deadpool is like, no. So he basically, knocks Wolverine out, and then basically, gonna sacrifice himself. And Wolverine's like, what the fuck are you doing? I have to do this. And Deadpool's like, well, at least I'm gonna die a hero. And so, Deadpool, he does the thing. He tries to stop the machine by, extracting the power to overload the power. And he's having flashbacks of, Deadpool 1 and 2, and of course his former girlfriend, Vanessa. And in this movie, they're broken up. Forgot to mention that, but I'll explain what happens at the end of the movie. But eventually, Wolverine shows up and helps Deadpool with overloading the machine. And eventually, they manage to stop Cassandra Nova, saving the timelines and including Deadpool's universe. And then eventually, Paradox gets his comeuppance from the new boss of TVA, which Hunter B, I think her name is, from the Loki series. And then basically, there's even a joke where she even likes Peter, Evan Peter or something like that. Peter, from the Deadpool movies, and then hinting like they may get together. But eventually, Wolverine gets to stay in Deadpool's universe because they fixed their universe slash timeline. Wolverine's this version of Wolverine, this variant of Wolverine that we see throughout the movie and throughout the end of the movie, becomes the new anchor point of the of Deadpool's universe. And the movie ends happily. It has a happy ending where Deadpool's with all his friends. Wolverine's there. X-23 is there, and eventually eventually Deadpool, he's gonna fix his relationship with Vanessa, and the movie ends off there. But holy crap, the movie was fantastic. What do I give this movie a rating? It's a 10 out of 10. This Deadpool movie was my favorite MCU movie overall. New favorite MCU movie. It has a lot of good stories. Love the cameos. Love the action. Love the humor. Love the jokes. And just love the special effects. And love the gore. Love the violence. And overall, this movie was pretty good. Again, my rating, 10 out of 10. And let's talk about the post-credit scene. So both the post-credit scene, or at least the end credits, are, footage reels of, the Fox X-Men movies, the Fox Fantastic Four movies. And basically the post-credit scene is Deadpool at the TVA saying, basically showing them a clip of never before seen footage of, Chris Evans, Human Torch, basically swearing a lot and cussing at Cassandra Nova, and just swearing because Captain America, Chris Evans, Captain America couldn't swear in the main MCU movies, but since he's, the Human Torch in this rated R movie, he gets to swear a lot, and that was funny. And Deadpool's like, told you guys, and the movie ends off there. But overall, that's pretty much gonna be it for my review for Deadpool and Wolverine. This movie was freaking fantastic. I know I said this a lot, but I really hope you guys go see this movie. You guys need to see this movie. I highly recommend you guys checking out this movie. This is a really good movie. I promise you guys won't be disappointed. Overall, this is pretty much to be it for my review. I hope you guys like this review, and make sure to like and share this video. And I'm gonna try my best to finish my X-Men 97 series review. That's when I do have more free time. I'll make sure to finish reviewing the series. As for My Adventures of Superman, I plan on doing episode reviews of My Adventures of Superman Season 2 as well. And I plan on making more content on the channel. And also I'll be planning on making more DC, Marvel, and all sorts of different content on the channel. Stay tuned for that. And just stay tuned for more cool stuff on the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing to the channel, you'll be really supporting me as a content creator and really supporting the channel. And just stay tuned for more videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.